Jon Croke.
Good afternoon, Affordaplane builders and ultralight adventurers. This is Terry Adair. I'm here with Dave Edwards. This is the man, the myth, the legend. He designed the Affordaplane, and we're hanging out here in the campground of Sun and Fun 2021 in my tent. And Dave, I was so excited when you called me this morning. I couldn't hardly contain myself. I was just, I got to get dressed. I got to come to the grill, and I got to meet you. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Good to see you.
I'm glad you took your time out of your day.
Oh, sure, of course.
Me. It's exciting.
This is my backyard.
And what a backyard it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So, so Dave, you have really pioneered the whole Affordaplane aspect. I mean, bringing flight and making it possible for people like myself who, you know, don't necessarily have a large budget, and a lot of other people on the group. And I commend you on creating the Affordaplane group.
Thanks. It's a great group.
It is. It is. And you've brought so many people together. And
thank you.
It's a lot of help. So for me, I want to thank you because you've given me wings.
Oh, well, thanks.
So,
that was the whole idea, you know. And we got a lot of really smart people on there, really knowledgeable. We cover all aspects, as you know, and it's a fun group. That's what it's all about, is fun. As you can hear, we've got airline. We just had a B-17 land. Sun and Fun is I think it's the world's largest air show, or it's the second largest air show in the world, and it's the busiest airport in the world for a week. So, and that's going on right behind us. We just met Tisha at Lockwood Aviation. She supplies a lot of our parts. Her and Phil, her husband, Phil Lockwood, they do the air cam, and they had the drifters. Back in the day, they were the ones that supplied me with all the hardware fittings and all that stuff. They were a very integral part of getting where I am now. And I've worked out here at Lakeland for 10 years. And when I was a kid, we dug all the sidewalks, we did all the building, the EAA stuff, and I haven't been back in quite a while, but now today has been absolutely a fantastic day. Perfect day.
Sounds like you really have some close ties to Sun and Fun.
Really close. Yeah.
And you've been telling me about them today, and it's got to be awesome to live this close in proximity.
10 miles away.
Second largest air show in the world.
Yep.
And
it started with nothing.
The stories you've shared with me have been like, I'm just, wow.
Well, what's funny is a friend of mine, his name is Joe Araldi. He's passed on now, but his son Mike Araldi still lives out at Green Swamp Airdrome. But Joe is the one that started Sun and Fun back in 1974 out of his T hangar, which used to be like right over there. And it was a reason to get together and fly airplanes and then drink beer in the afternoons. And people would come in from all over, and that was the beginning of Sun and Fun. Yes. Was it out of Joe Araldi's T hangar, and they were dear friends of ours. And then it built and built and built. And then in the 80s, when I was a teenager, we would drive out here and we'd work and help build the place and the hangars and all that stuff. And we met everyone that's famous in aviation that you can imagine.
The camaraderie in aviation is second
here, especially.
Yeah.
It's just like Oshkosh. It's a little family unit. Now it's a gigantic enterprise, but it's just, I've done a lot of flying out here. You'll see every kind of exotic airplane in the world, you know, and that's what we all come together. So really our group is a microcosm of this whole thing of aviation. And now that we're becoming more well known, we're integrating into all this. So it's just a blast. It's a great adventure.
I believe your Facebook page was one of those things that really helped bring a lot of people together, because, you know, I started my build. Well, a little back history. I ordered the plans in 2010, and they sat in my file cabinet. And you know, life happens, and I've been through some medical things, as you. But after I went through that little break, I decided it was time to go ahead and just start building. I didn't even know about the group. I was following a group that was so negative, I wasn't even wanting to be a part of it. And positivity is just kind of like my new motto for life. I want to be positive about things.
Absolutely.
Look at how you can make things better. Not complain on other people.
Focus on the positive.
Exactly.
And that's what our group is all about.
And this group has brought so many people together. You've got over 7,000 members in your group now. And when your group came alive, you really birthed my my thing, because I had no plan to build a YouTube page. I had no plan to build another Facebook group.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys that wonder, why do we have official Affordaplane group and why do we have the Affordaplane Ultralight Adventure group, you know, the official Affordaplane group is all things Affordaplane. We get on there, we talk, we help each other out.
It's mainly the build.
Exactly.
It's about building. Yours is more the adventure part of what you can do with the Affordaplane.
Correct. And I wanted to create a place where those of us that are either already building, or maybe you're not even building an Affordaplane, maybe you have a quick silver.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to clutter your page up with all the non-Affordaplane stuff, and so that's kind of why I did that. And it's grown up, man.
I think we're at 8,600 now on my group. Yours is like 7,000. I don't know what it is.
Last I checked, it was over 6,000.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know it grew a lot faster than I expected.
We get about 100 new people a week on mine. And you know, Phil Polera is the guy that Jimmy McIntosh and Phil Polera, but Phil's the one that started the group back in February. It was like January or December of 2016, something like that. And we had 160 people when I joined, and quickly we went to 1,000, and then da. But now we're starting to be featured in magazines. I had done no advertising at all for the airplane at all.
Speaking of which, Dan Johnson's here. And Dan Johnson recently did an article
for
in
us.
his column for
On
the
experimental,
Affordaplane.
on his website. I forget what it's called.
He's looking for, well, he does a lot of the experimental light sport and Part 103 documentaries and write-ups.
He's a big player.
He's a big player in aviation, and he did a write-up on you, and I was so gracious. He mentioned me as well. Oh,
yeah.
I saw him yesterday, Dave.
Huh.
He's right over here in Paradise City.
Huh.
And you know what? He gave me his phone number. I told him that you were coming, and he said, call me when he gets here. He wants to talk to you.
Well, that's great. That's great. I'll be glad to talk to him.
You're making some waves.
Yeah,
good waves.
And Home Built Help is another website. I don't remember the gentleman's last name. It's John is his first name. I'm going to meet with him today, and we're probably going to do some kind of co-op thing where I help him with his website and helping people to build and fly, like I've been doing for 22 years. And it'll be an honor to meet him and an honor to meet Dan Johnson. I'm sure we're going to meet a whole bunch of other people today or this week. And hopefully we'll have an Affordaplane or two out here, which will be great.
It would be nice.
Yes.
I'd really love to bring Tango Alpha 1. And I know on screen it looks as if, you know, we're bankrolling out here, you know, the way we're doing. But no, we're living in the tent. And I had to drive the old Dodge, what the hell do I have? Anyway, my van out here. I'm excited. I'm in front of Dave Edwards, okay? My mind goes crazy. But I drove out here and met Dave. My Affordaplane, I would love to bring it out here. But guys, you know, it takes...
It's a long way from Houston.
It's 1,000 miles.
That's a long way.
Yeah, and I really hate to take Tango Alpha 1 apart.
Yeah.
Let alone drag it 1,000 miles in a trailer. Maybe someday, I don't know, but I'd love for it to be here. Dan Johnson asked if I was going to have it here, and I said, I wish. But, you know, short of putting it in, like, I don't know.
Yeah, enclosed trailer.
And a closed trailer with, you know.
That's a hard driving. You know.
Yeah. And this was really kind of last minute for me. You know why?
Yeah.
The reason I'm here is my wife wanted to get me out of the house. Are you going to Sun and Fun?
That's the other reason for aviation, is to help the wives get us out of the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was on me for probably 2 weeks. Are you going to Sun and Fun? Aren't you going to Sun and Fun? I don't know what she's got going on.
Yeah, right.
But she wanted me out of the house.
Are you glad you came?
I'm excited that I came. You know, it's probably first vacation I've had in 10 years.
Well, you've turned into Mr. Aviation because you've shared your journey of building on your GoPros and your videos, and I get so much feedback from your videos, and people share the adventure with you. He goes to NASA, he does missions. It's just fantastic, and the video quality is fantastic. People can see how the plane flies and how you just tootle along. I've watched you go from a beginner to now an expert, where you don't even think about flying, you just do it. and you can see your movements are fluid, and you got it. You nailed it. So you've really come a long way,
Well,
and I
thank you.
congratulate you on that. And you've been a giant help to Affordaplane, and he mentors people on his group. He mentors people to help them get the bug for aviation, and it's really all about the inspiration. Everything I've ever done is about the inspiration to fly. And I had no money, and I dreamed up my idea of an airplane that would be a good, safe airplane to fly. Most airplanes, when they're cheap or they're inexpensive, they're very flimsy, and you can only fly, say for instance, the Woodhopper or something like that, or a Wingding 2. Those are my first airplanes I've put together, but you can only fly them in the calmest of winds.
Yes.
You know, they're very finicky, and they're not a daily flyer. And then even in the 90s and stuff, the kits they're very expensive. So I thought, you know, and I come up with my own way of doing it, and I've been in aviation all my life, so you know, and my first commercial design was the Affordaplane, and it just turned out to be something that really took off, you know, and it worked.
And it's really growing now.
It's really growing.
It's really coming up, and I appreciate the accolades there, but anything I can do to help you're into things, because it's truly exciting. I can now sit back and say I have an airplane.
Yeah.
And
you inspire thousands of people.
well, thank you.
It's true.
And you know, they keep saying that, and I feel like this little guy, but you know,
I'm the same.
For everybody that receives a benefit from the videos or anything like that, I'm happy, and it's just been an adventure for me. I don't know where it's going.
Yeah,
but
sky's the limit.
I've just decided that I'm going to follow the dream, and I'm going to just, wherever it leads is where it leads.
And you'll never regret it. And this is mainly for the group. I mean, these videos, what we're doing now, is for people that are building their plane, that need a little inspiration or want it. And to us, this is everything. Like, if I'd had a video like this when I was building my plane, I'd have watched it 50 times.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd have been, because that's my group, that's my thing. Same as J3 Cub owners, same as Aronka Champ. The Affordaplane is a thing. It's got its own little following, and we got our merchandise now, and I've had so many compliments on my hat just from the show. They go, "Oh, Affordaplane, I've heard of that." I was like, "Have a nice day," you know. And that's fantastic. Who would have ever thought? I mean, you know, those guys were my heroes. Burt Rattan, I know all those guys. Burt Rattan, he went into space with Branson and all that stuff. I mean, they were friends of mine. I used to bring him Cokes out on the flight line, you know, and Jim Beattie, all those kind of people. I've known him. Martin Caden, I could name off 5,000 people. Tom Riley at the Flying Tigers Museum.
Right.
I was flight crew on his B-25 for a long time. You know, and it all happened here. You know, and doing air shows all around the country. There's nothing more fun. You'll never regret it. It's a fun thing to do, and it's just when you fly, you see the world from a different perspective. You see it from a higher vantage point. And when you have that higher vantage point, and you're not just on the ground crawling around, and you can see the whole picture, it changes your life. And that's what it's all about. It changes your life.
Whole perspective.
When you fly your own plane and land it, and you still got all your parts,
your confidence goes up, your vision
you can do
goes up.
anything.
It's great. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Affordaplane. As you mentioned, the AffordaplaneStore.com is up, and you can get hats, and we're trying to put together t-shirts,
hardware.
We're trying to get the hardware section built up to make it easy for you guys to source things without having to scour the internet for everything. But let's talk about the Affordaplane. You were telling me about some plans or some inspirations that you have about maybe sub kits.
Yes. Well, I'm going to start doing kits of just the fuselage, and I'm going to do 10 to start with. And if you're interested, you can get a hold of me on the website or in the group, whatever. And I'm going to be making them myself out of these steel jigs that are exact down to the millimeter. And I'm going to do about 10 of those, because I've had a lot of people asking me for a kit, you know, like a center fuselage kit. And with that, you just get the kit in a mailing tube in the mail, ground freight. You bolt it together, and there's your fuselage sitting there. You put your gear on, you're on the gear. So, and they're priced very reasonably.
Now, is Phil going to be helping you with
doing the gussets? Yeah.
Okay.
Phil does all of our gussets, and he's been doing them at cost. So we're fixing to do another run. I don't know when, but we get a group of names or group of people, and then we order the thing, and then we send them out. And we'll have all the info on the group about that.
Yeah.
So, but
and so guys, when you need to do these gussets, and I'm going to tell you, I'm old school. The Affordaplane group was not around when I started. I had to manually cut my own gussets.
it's a job.
It truly is probably the biggest
hardest
job.
part. Yeah.
And so what Bill does is it is a big time saver. And not only that, the way he's doing it right now, it's cheaper to buy the gussets than it is
than
to
the
buy
raw
the
material
and to do the labor.
Yeah, it is. And because we do it in bulk. And
now,
they are absolutely perfect. Like the gussets are exactly perfect.
Now, what's the best way for people to get a hold of either Phil or where do they go to get
Phil
the
has our website at aplaneparts.com. And that's
aplaneparts.com.
aplaneparts.com. He does the gussets there, and I think that's all we have on there right now. But you can contact him or me, and we can get you hooked up with that.
Now, I know some people have mentioned that they've gone to the site and it wouldn't let them order, but that's because you guys run them in batch orders.
Yes. And he turns that off and then puts a little notice on there that we're in between runs or whatever.
Okay.
And so that's why it's off, and he doesn't accept money while we're not doing them.
So guys, if you're building and you've got your plans and you have your tubing and you want to save yourself a world of time and labor and money, go to aplaneparts.com and get a hold of Phil or get a hold of Dave and let them know you want to get on the list so they can get how many people they need before y'all do a run?
I think it's 10 or 15, something like that.
10 to 15?
Yeah.
So 10 to 15 people on the list, and they make a run. Now they're not doing these onesie twosies because obviously the CNC has to be done and everything, and they run them in a stack.
Minimum run.
But yeah, minimum run is what they call it. So if you're building, hey, get on the list, and you know, that way you have your parts there. Give them a reason to go make more parts, because this is really helping everybody. And the Affordaplane is such an easy airplane to build, and it's such an easy airplane to fly. I enjoy it, and I came with Cessna training. You know, that's what I had, Cessna training, a little bit of father training and things like that. So flying, to me, I was pretty happy to be there, but I was scared the first time. You know, getting up in the air in an airplane you build in your garage, it scared me.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, Tango Alpha 1 had to take me for a ride.
Yeah.
It was...
and it needs to be safe and secure and stable and rugged enough to handle newbies, you know, flying beginners, and it has to have no bad habits. You know, if it's a tail dragger that'll bite you in the tail when you're flying it, then what's the point? It's probably the easiest tail dragger in the world to fly.
When you fly the airplane, it behaves.
Yeah.
You know, I went through, I don't know how many months it was, taxi testing and crow hopping, and I did more damage to Tango Alpha 1 in those 4 or 5 months, and I thought, damn, everything needs to be redone and redesigned. But you know, once Tango Alpha 1 got tired of me beating it up, and it took me flying, I was 20
Let
feet,
her go.
I was 20 feet above the runway, and I had no real estate out there.
Yep.
The only choice I had was to go up.
Yep.
And I made the pattern, and I flew around, and that was my first real flight in Tango Alpha 1. And ever since that day, I've not been scared of it. And I don't tear it up anymore.
Right.
I fixed the problems that I broke, and now that I fly it the way it's designed to be flown, it is holding up beautifully. And
I flew out of some rough fields all over South Florida. I mean, rough cow fields with my same landing gear everybody else builds, and it took it. It took the loads and all that. And one thing that I just remembered that I would like to say, my original building place was at Blackwater Creek in Plant City, Florida. It's halfway between Plant City and Zephyr Hills on Highway 39. Nobody's there right now, but I reunited with the owner, who's a dear friend of mine, and I'm going to be making my kits out there, but also we're going to start having Affordaplane get-togethers out there. And when we do Sun and Fun, we'll have campers out there that can go stay out there, and we'll have the airport to ourselves. And that's the birthplace of Affordaplane. I built her in a chicken coop out there that are no longer there, and we can fly out of there, any of that stuff, and we have our A-plane get-togethers there when people start bringing their planes in, which will be fantastic.
It will be.
And barbecues, all that stuff.
You know, it is growing so much. I mean, I see so many people completing their airplanes.
Yeah.
In Houston alone, we have 4 people. There's myself, there's Jason Tubes, we've got Jim Rittenhouse is on his gear. I believe he's starting his tail section. In fact, he just leased a hangar space from my what do you call him, landlord at the airport.
Cool.
And let's see, we got another. Dennis Shooter is in Texas.
Yeah.
So we got 4 in Texas, and they're all over the place. Scott, whoa, what is Scott? Man, I hope Scott. Now he posted on the group here that he may be selling to get the Kid Fox.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I think his wife put her foot down on that. so Scott, you got to hang on to your plum purple Affordaplane.
Yeah, yeah.
And but
that's great,
man. But Blackhawk, that's not far at all.
Blackwater.
Blackwater.
Yeah, Blackwater Creek was the place. That was as a kid, that was the ultralight central in the world. That was the middle, that was it. That was the hub of aviation. And they used to have all kinds of ultralights. I trained out there. I flew out there. They'd have big barbecues on the weekend. That's where the idea came for, it's kind of like everybody has jet skis. So you all go jet skiing, then you stop on the island, and everybody, gets together and has food and all that. It's the same thing with flying. So the A-plane was my way of getting into that crowd of my own airplane and being part of that without buying a $15,000 kit or something.
And here we are today.
And now it took off,
I probably have the fattest, most equipped ultralight that out of all the Affordaplanes I've seen. And I don't want you guys to be dissuaded or concerned, if that's the right word, about price, because Jimmy built his for like $6,000.
Yeah.
When you see me, I'm the guy that's like, maybe I want to spend a little extra on it. Let's spend a little bit more. You can do that with your A-plane or your Affordaplane.
Or bare bones.
Or you can go bare bones and you can fly very economical.
Yes.
So that's one of the great things about the airplane is it allows you to do all kinds of things. You can expand on it. You can add your own little touch to it.
It's like the Model T. In a lot of ways, I designed it like the Model T. And there's no maintenance at all. I mean, you can leave it out in the rain and it all just drains out. And you're fine.
And you can see every part that you need to get to right there.
Yep, it's all wide open.
Well, Dave, we have a big day planned today, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to do this little sit down with me in the Tango Alpha 110. So
it's our home. It's his home base.
Home base, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you.
And
hello to everybody in the group.
We got an appointment with Dan Johnson. We need to
get over to Paradise City.
Yeah, we need to get over to Paradise City and let Dan know that you're here.
And we'll have an update, and we'll shoot you another video here next day or two.
Exactly.
Next couple of days.
And a lot of this, guys, keep in mind, I'm here on a limited power source, so I'm taking a lot of video and I'm using what power I have to recharge batteries. So when I get back to Texas, I'm going to be editing all of the videos and we'll be putting stuff up little by little. I'll probably be posting some pictures with the phone so that you guys can kind of see them on the group. But thank you for joining us, guys. Dave, thank you for taking time out. We got to go see Dan Johnson.
That sounds good. Yes, sir.
Let's
do
it. Give me 5.
See you later. See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, there we go.